What is up, everyone? This is Patrick, and I am here once again to give you guys another review. But this time it is NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4. You know, I'm gonna tell you guys this. I am very. I enjoyed. I actually enjoyed this takeover. I did. I actually very did, and I thought it was a very good show. It was well done. So many good matches, very intense. Two new champions were crowned, and at the same time, it kept me entertained. It kept me entertained, and all I would want to say is that this was a very good event. Now, when I come on here, when it comes to me, and this is a big heads up for people that want to know more about me, so when it comes to me, and when it comes to my reviews, I am neutral. I don't play favorites to any brand. I don't care what brand it is. I do not play favorites to any brand. And if there's anything negative that I find, I will talk about it. And if anyone thinks that it's not really a negative, then you can let me know. But all I'm saying is that I'm not neutral. That I am going to be equally as fair to NXT as every other brand, and if there's anything that I don't like that happened at NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4, then there is something I did not like. So, if that's an issue to you guys, then well, that's just really too bad, because this is my channel. I can say what I want. Anyway, let's just start the review. Started off the show with the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versing the Mustache Mountain, Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. This was a good match. It was a very good way to open NXT. It was a pretty good opening match. For whatever reason, NXT has a weird finish with starting with shows with tag team matches, because it was Takeover Chicago. We had Undisputed Era versus Only Logan and Danny Burch, and now we've got another one. So, I don't know, they've got this weird, apparently there's some kind of weird finish with tag teams starting the shows. Honestly, the one match that didn't have a title on the line should have started, but I'm not complaining. I know it's a little nitpick, but I'm just saying. The Undisputed Era got the win here, which it was predictable. It was kind of predictable that they were going to win, because it's the Undisputed Era. I wasn't surprised that they won. Then the War Raiders attacked them after the match, and I'm guessing the War Raiders are going to be the team that dethrones the Undisputed. I'm guessing. But, yeah, it was a good match. It was a good tag team match. Really enjoyed it. There was also a point in the match where Trent Seven was going to throw in the towel, kind of like what Tyler Bate did on NXT. Because like I said on my predictions video, that I mentioned that Tyler Bate and Trent Seven, they lost their titles very quickly soon after they won them, because Tyler Bate threw in the towel. And Trent Seven was going to do it here to Tyler Bate, but then he was about to throw in the towel, but he didn't want to throw it. He was hesitating to throw it, and he didn't want to, he didn't want to upset Tyler Bate, so he threw the towel away, and he motivated Tyler Bate to get back into the match. And that was one of the biggest highlights. That was one of the big highlights there. Yeah, the Undisputed Era win. The Velveteen Dream versus the Top 1% EC3. I'm gonna tell you guys this. This was a pretty decent match. EC3 is a good wrestler. He's a good on the mic, and you know he's definitely some guy. He's definitely one of those guys that's not really going to, you know, I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. He's not really doing anything on NXT. It's a shame that EC3 is not really doing anything. But either way, it was a good match, and the highlight of the match to me was the Velveteen Dream's pants. Velveteen Dream had written on his pants on his butt saying, "Call me up, Vince." You know, to me that was the highlight because I found that really, really funny. And the Velveteen Dream got the win here with a Death Valley driver on the corner of the apron, and then a Rainmaker on the corner of the apron to get the pinfall victory on EC3. And like I said, you guys, I don't think EC3, you know, I just don't think EC3 is really going to do anything on NXT, to be quite honest with you. I don't think he's going to do anything for NXT. I just don't think he has. I just think he was brought in at the wrong time, and you know he's in the wrong place at the wrong time, and honestly, I think it would be better off if he was moved up to the main roster, because he'll do a lot more there. He'll do a lot more on the main roster. Call him up onto SmackDown. Call him up onto SmackDown. Take him over to SmackDown Live, because he would be perfect. He would be perfect. He would be a perfect candidate for the United States Championship. He'll be a perfect candidate for the United States Championship, because, let me guys tell you this, who is basically next after Shinsuke's done with Jeff Hardy? If there's any, they don't really have any other faces besides Rusev, because I don't think Shinsuke's going to lose the United States Championship. It's too early. He just won the title. So I think you need more faces. You need more faces to challenge Shinsuke. So I think bring EC3 in and have him challenge for the United States Championship, because at least that way he'll have something to do, and I think he'll be a great candidate for the United States Championship. And think of all the other good matches he could have with the other guys on the SmackDown brand. So yeah, I think EC3 should get called up to the main roster, which is basically what I'm trying to say here with this victory here for the Velveteen Dream. You know, they never bring up winners. They never have winners go up to the main roster. They always have the losers go up to the NXT, leave NXT, and get promoted to the main roster. So I think EC3 would be better off if he was called up to the main roster and sent to SmackDown Live. That's just my opinion. Adam Cole versus Ricochet for the NXT North American Championship. Now, to me, this was a great match, and I'm gonna tell you guys this. I was very, very surprised with this outcome. I totally did not see this coming. Ricochet winning the North American Championship with a 630 senton. Beautiful move. It looks great. And Adam Cole has lost the North American Championship. Now, the only thing that I can think of why this would have been possible is because maybe Triple H has realized the first two matches were pretty predictable. And I'm going to tell you guys that. While I was sitting there watching the matches, I predicted Undisputed Era to win, and I predicted the Velveteen Dream to win, because the Velveteen Dream needed that victory over EC3. So, to be honest with you, it looked pretty predictable in the first two matches. So obviously, the only way that Vince doing NXT, come on, Patrick. Triple H. The only way Triple H would have made sure that NXT TakeOver Brooklyn wasn't too predictable, so then he could have Adam Cole lose. And I think that could have been the only reason why. And honestly, I think Triple H made the right call. Take the title off of Adam Cole. He doesn't need the North American title. He can always go up and challenge for the NXT title. So yeah, Adam Cole is no longer North American champion. And Ricochet is the one and only Ricochet is North American champion. And finally, we have a babyface champion on NXT. Congratulations to Ricochet. Kairi Sane taking on Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. And once again, I was very surprised with this outcome. But at the same time, I kind of wanted it to happen. Kairi Sane got the win. She's the new champion. We got another babyface champion. Great. We got another babyface champion. Awesome. We needed some babyface champions, and that was the one thing that NXT lacked. Babyface champions. This was the one thing they lacked. Ronda Rousey, Jessamine Duke, and Marina Shafir were on the outside watching through the crowd. They were watching through the crowd, and I was very surprised by this result. Shayna Baszler survived not one, but two insane elbows, and I didn't really like it that much because, you know, that makes Kairi Sane's finisher look a bit weak that she did it twice, and Shayna kicked out of it twice. And yes, I know it was the first time anyone's ever kicked out of the insane elbow, but I don't know. I know I'm being a little bit, I'm just nitpicking here at this point, but then she went for the anchor, her new submission, the submission hold that she does. That didn't get Shayna to submit. Shayna went for the sleeper. I don't know what she calls it, so I'm just going to call it a sleeper hold because that's what it is. It's a sleeper hold. Went for the sleeper hold, and then all of a sudden she goes to the sleeper hold, and all of a sudden Kairi Sane flips over and pins Shayna Baszler and becomes the NXT Women's Champion. Now I understand why they did it, is that they probably didn't want Shayna to look weak, but at the same time they made Shayna look like an idiot. The fact that she didn't let go of the submission. So it would have been better off is that if they just had her get pinned clean. But either way, I am very happy for Kairi Sane. We got another babyface champion. We definitely need more babyface champions. And yeah, Kairi Sane got the win here. And congratulations to Kairi Sane. Now for the main event. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. I want to be straight up and honest with you guys. I just want to be honest. I hope this is their last match. Look, I've got nothing against the feud. I think the feud has been very well done and it's been very well produced. It's been good. I've enjoyed this feud. But at the same time, though, I just want it to be over. I do. I just want this to be over and done with. And, you know, it's been going on for nearly a year now. And, look, I don't want to come on here and bash the main event. But, I'm sorry to say this, but it kind of felt like this was copy and paste. They did most of this entire match was exactly the same that they did in their past two takeover matches. You had Tommaso rip the floor. Tommaso ripped the floor to expose the concrete on the ground. Then you had Tommaso rip the ring apart. We saw that again. We saw, this time it was Johnny Gargano. Or was it, I think it was Tommaso Ciampa ripping the ring apart. And then we saw Johnny rip the floor apart. You know, it was, we got handcuffs. yeah, we had a few different things. Yes, there were a few things that were a little bit different. But overall, I felt like this was just copy and paste of their last two encounters. And the fact that Tommaso Ciampa won again while being handcuffed, it makes Johnny Gargano look like an idiot. It made Johnny Gargano look like an idiot that he couldn't beat somebody while being handcuffed. So, it was a good match. It was a good match. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying this has been a great, great feud. But it's time for it to end. It's time for it to end. There's no reason to continue this feud. What else is there left in this feud? What else is left to prove? Tommaso Ciampa has proven that he is better than Johnny wrestling. He has proven that he will outsmart Johnny Gargano every time. And Johnny Gargano continues to let his emotions get the better of him. Best out of 3. Tommaso won. He won best out of 3. Johnny won the first time, Tommaso won the second one, and Tommaso won the third one. So that's it. This rivalry needs to be done. I don't want to hear another Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa match. This feud was great, and this feud was great. The matches were great, but it's time to move on. It's time to move on. There are other great choices to choose from. You've got other people in NXT to choose from besides Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. You got other people that you can use. Adam Cole's no longer North American champion. You can give Adam Cole an opportunity at the NXT championship. You got the Velveteen Dream. So yeah, there's nothing left in this feud. And if people are going to say to me, well, they can do a lot better, there are more things they can do. What else can they do? What else can they do? What else is there left to prove? If Triple H knew that there was so much more that could have been done with this feud, he would have added more different to the match between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. And considering that they didn't, and it was pretty much nearly copy and paste of everything we saw in the previous two, the previous matches, I feel like they've run out of ideas. This is the rubber match. This is the final encounter. This needs to be the end of Johnny Gargano's attempts at becoming NXT champion. Move Johnny Gargano up to the main roster. Or better yet, put him on 205 Live. Now I know what some of you are going to be saying. 205 Live, Johnny Gargano's too good for that show. He doesn't need to be on that show. Who runs that show? That's the question to you guys. Who runs that show? Triple H does. If you know for a fact that Vince McMahon ain't going to treat Johnny Gargano correctly, whether if he's on Raw or if he's on SmackDown. So the best place for Johnny to go is 205 Live. Yes, he's too good for that show. Yes, that show is above Johnny Gargano. I agree with that. But that is the only best place for him to go. You want someone to dethrone Cedric Alexander? Johnny Gargano's your guy. Or unless you're really putting a lot of faith in WWE to really do something with Johnny Gargano when he goes to the main roster. Or unless you're just hoping that this whole rivalry continues. Like I said, this rivalry needs to be over with, and it needs to be done with. Tommaso Ciampa retains the NXT Championship in the last man standing match. He's still the black heart of NXT, and it's still his and it's still his NXT, and he's still the NXT champion. Hopefully this is the end of the feud. That's kind of all I hope for at this point. Is this rivalry to be over with. Move Gargano onto the main roster, and move Baszler to the main roster, and move EC3 to the main roster, and move a couple of other people to the main roster if there's anybody else to move up as well. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me for this NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 review. I hope you guys did enjoy. Hit the thumbs up if you did. Comment your opinions down below on what are your thoughts on the show. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. And also make sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when my next video comes up. And also to be following me on Twitter at pballantyne95. Thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you all tomorrow with my SummerSlam review. Catch you later.